Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Anah. I'm back with another video. Title of this video is called Something is Something is Up. They're stewing the pot, right? There's a lot going on regarding, I guess, this nuclear WW3 uh preparation basically. Los Angeles government, is preparing for nuclear war basically. And this guy's gonna explain it in his video, and I got some precepts and articles to bring out on it.
Municipalities across the United States and the West. Now, we're going to talk about some of the revelations of the statements of one of the coordinators of this event and why it's so important, federal, state, local, and in the context of the current global geopolitical turmoil. Well, only if you're paying attention, apparently, because not many people are talking about this. Los Angeles is going to be doing nuclear detonation wargaming next week. And it's not just the municipality. A coalition of federal, state, local, and military agencies are coming together in the Los Angeles area to learn strategies to manage a nuclear detonation. And I'm going to presume that if this is happening there, that this has happened in all of the other large, or will be happening soon, in the large municipalities across the United States and the West. Now, we're going to talk about some of the revelations of the statements of one of the coordinators of this event and why it's so important. And I want to quickly say before we dive into this and the other news stories of the day that I apologize for my absence in the last 72 hours. I'm incredibly busy practicing what we preach on the channel. I'm trying to build out a self-reliant homestead. I acquired a property and we're trying to get everything at an accelerated pace ready to go before the shit hits the fan. It comes with a lot of responsibility. As the saying goes, you start off as a micro prepper and eventually all preppers become farmers, and that's what I'm working towards in the next couple weeks, because we got to get seeds in the ground, we got to get greenhouses built. It's just going to be a fustercluck, and I'm going to be very busy. So these World War III daily updates, they're going to be kind of done on the fly. But I realize information is power.
I want to real quick see if I can find. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna see if I can find another video he did where he said something that was interesting to me. I'm gonna just pause it right quick. All right, I can't find it, but basically this guy said, he doesn't believe in Bible prophecy or anything like that. Like with everything that's, going on in the world, he doesn't believe in all of that. So I don't know if he believes in the Bible or if he believes in God or whatever, but obviously he's prepping, he has no faith, in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, to lean on him basically. I was trying to find a video. He said it in one of his videos. I couldn't find it. Probably tag him or like, hashtag Canadian Prepper or something. That way he has a chance to come defend himself and what I'm saying about him now. But continuing on.
Information is important, which is why I keep doing them. But we do have a lot of videos in the queue, blue strip content that you should be watching, that perennial content that is going to give you actual education and ideas on how you can actually prepare for this stuff, okay? Because most people, you're just not nearly as ready as you think. I wish it was still 10 years ago and I was in bug out bag fantasy land, because the closer we get to this event, at least the government is starting to take this a little bit seriously. On the other hand, it's a symbol or signal that they are actually taking the threat seriously, and they think it's something that is plausible and possible. Los Angeles nuclear detonation wargaming next week. A coalition of federal, state, and local and military agencies are coming together in the Los Angeles area to learn strategies to manage a nuclear detonation. So this is going to try to develop an interface not only between all the various levels of government, but also the public and private sector. Guys, they are taking this seriously. This is not your run-of-the-mill annual exercise, okay? This is a unprecedented exercise, at least within our generation, since the Cold War, that they are coming together and they're trying to work out all the bugs of the civil defense infrastructure.
All right, so these different states and government agencies are coming together, basically doing a nuclear exercise because nuclear talks have you know, been talked about recently. In the news, Donald Trump talked about it. He said, if you vote for him, he can stop World War III, and everything. So we know this stuff is at the door and it's on the way and it's coming, right? But there's no escape, because Babylon the Great will be destroyed completely, right? So it's all tied to prophecy. So I tried to find some information about this nuclear wargaming, and nothing came up for me. We have here Los Angeles. Let's see. Still Los Angeles preparing for nuclear war. It doesn't say any time or anything like that. It doesn't talk about the war gamings. I briefly skimmed through it. So I searched up, Los Angeles nuclear war. The only thing came up is Canadian prepper, a bunch of stuff, from a year ago or whatever, 2 years ago. We got here. I searched the whole thing, and the only thing that popped up was this guy here 1 day ago, the Mako story. Nuclear war games in Los Angeles next week. A coalition of federal, state, local, and military agencies will gather in the Los Angeles area to study strategies for managing a nuclear explosion. This is very likely, and it will happen. Fast updates on geopolitics, international news, and analysis. Never miss a thing. Stay updated. Founded by D. Garish, chief editor and digital media professional. All right, so this guy's a conspiracy theorist. um, I don't know why, but it said his last post was October 7, 2023. Let me see. No. All right, so that's the guy. I might check him out and see what he got. Going back to this, the point I really was looking at right here that it tickled me.
Attack, and the language that we're seeing is very similar to that. So Blinken is saying, and now he is saying that the Chinese are trying to meddle with the election, similar to that.
We'll
So
get this whole
Blinken
thing. So he goes into the Nord Stream pipe, basically been an inside job. He goes into the funny part, sanctions on other countries for something. We'll see what he's talking about. Let's see.
is saying if the Russians and the Chinese don't sever these trade relations, then we will. Now, what does he mean by that? Okay. And of course, he was not well received in China, and he said a lot of things that were very confrontational while he was there and immediately upon his return. And now he is saying that the Chinese are trying to meddle with the elections. So Anthony Blinken is saying that there's evidence that China is attempting to interfere with elections. So not the Russians now, but the Chinese. And if you think that Trump's going to figure this all out, unfortunately, you better keep on prepping, because Trump plans on sanctioning the countries that refuse to use the dollar, for which there are many right now. In fact, many African countries are repatriating their
All
gold
right, so he
reserve.
said it right there. He said, Trump is planning on sanctioning countries that don't use the U.S. dollar, and what we have now is the BRICS with the Russia and all the the nations that's with him and tied to him using that BRICS, the new currency that they're trying to implement. Get away from the dollar, and all of that kind of started with the sanctions already that Trump put on these different places, which was Russia. And what Tucker Carlson went over there and did his interview, we could see that the sanctions put on Russia did nothing but increase, their country basically. It got better. They realized that they didn't need Babylon the Great to, do what they do, and now they're doing what they're doing, which is preparing for war, nuclear war, to destroy Babylon the Great. Right. So sanction definition. It says a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or rule. Right. So we got Esau Edom ruling the whole world, telling people what they can and can't do, right? We just heard that people are telling the government's telling China that they need to sever ties with Russia, right? Trading ties. Official permission or approval for an action. Give official permission or approval for an action. Impose a sanction or penalty on them, right? And Esau Edom is, puffing at his enemies, saying, "Listen, do this, or we gonna do that." Things like that, which is crazy. Donald Trump advisors are discussing penalties for countries that move away from the dollar. The dollar is dying. Even they're going to a digital currency. Maybe things are just moving a little too fast for them. Sources told Bloomberg the former president previously said he hates when countries abandon the currency. Measures could include tariffs, export controls, and currency manipulation charges, right? So they're gonna charge someone for not using the dollar. That's economic advisors to Donald Trump are working out plans to blunt de-dollarization efforts, which could include penalties on any economy that moves away from the greenback, right? So they're basically trying to stop the move away from the dollar with these other countries. It ain't gonna happen. Babylon the Great is falling. And I got some precepts here. Psalms 10 and 1. O Lord, why do you stand so far away? This is the NLT. Why do you hide when I am in trouble? The wicked erringly hunt down the poor. Let them be caught in the evil they plan for others. For they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord. The wicked are too proud to seek Yahweh. They seem to think that Yahweh is dead. Yet they succeed in everything they do. They do not see your punishment awaiting them. They sneer at their enemies, right? And that goes into what I said. They puff at their enemies. This is in the NLT. I'll show you in the KJV. Going to the point, right? 5. Psalms 10 and 5, it says, His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, right? So that goes into these people telling China what they can and can't do. You know, telling these other countries, if you move away from the dollar, we're going to sanction you. You know, they keep their control because they're losing control, right? Scriptures say that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? And if you can look around with your spiritual eyes, you can see that this world is going down. You know, nuclear World War III is at the door. Everything is at the door. All prophecies. The MOTB is here. Pretty soon it's going to be, you know, implemented all over the world and forced upon people. Jacob's trouble is right at the door. We got Micah 4 and 12. Oh, and I was going to get 10 right here. Micah 4 and 10, it says, Be in pain. This is talking about the Israelites, you know. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee, the Lord being Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies, right? So to those of you that's saying, you know, America is in Babylon the Great, then I guess we need to move away from, you know, supposed to be, I guess, going out of America to wherever we supposed to be redeemed, right? So basically, no, this is Babylon the Great. USA is Babylon the Great, and this is the land where we be delivered from and redeemed from, because the nuclear war is happening here. You know, this destruction is going to happen here in Babylon the Great. You know, and we're going to need Yahweh Shai and his chariots to beam us up into those so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Yahweh Shai, right? So, you know, I thought this was a good scripture, you know, to even say that, hey, this is Babylon the Great, because this is the land that we need to be, you know, delivered from. Micah 4 and 11, the point is at 12. Now also many nations are gathered against thee. They say, let her be defiled and let our eye look upon Zion, right? They want nothing good for the Israelites. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor, right? So they don't know the thoughts of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? They're constantly saying, who seeth us? You know, they think that the Lord is with them. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will lay consecrate their grain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Right. So basically, you know, later on in the future, whenever we get those spiritual powers, this will take place, but this is not taking place right now. We are called to, you know, preach this word to the elect, you know, wake them up, and we're waiting on Yahweh Shai, you know. So, and this is you know, and that's why, you know, it says Micah 4 and 12, it says, but they know not the thoughts of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Right. So they not understanding that they're going to be destroyed, right? Psalms 49 and 11, it says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, right? So that's why they would be preparing and doing nuclear drills and things like that because they think they're gonna come out of the rubble and rebuild, and continue on and nothing's gonna happen, but they just don't know that's the day of the Lord's vengeance, the day of their doom. So going into the fact that they're saying they're gonna put sanctions on these different countries that's moving away from the dollar, but that's what in these last days, that's what Gog and Magog, which is Russia and the land of Russia, is going to be a guard to these other nations, right? So they won't need to worry about the sanctions, just like Russia didn't have to worry about the sanctions. Like I said before, Tucker Carlson went over there and did the interview, and he went to the grocery stores and everything basically is booming. It's business as usual over there. The sanctions did, not too much, and Russia, the country of Russia, is doing pretty good. So we've been told. So these other lands are going to be Russia is going to be a guard for these other lands. So if Donald Trump or whoever, Donald Trump might become president coming in November. If he does become president, he tries to put sanctions on these people. I don't think it will matter because here in the scriptures we can see that these other nations and Russia will come together and make war with Babylon the Great, and Russia will be a guard to them. Ezekiel 38:1, it says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them, clothed with all sorts of armor, in a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, right? So we can see in these last days that the land of Russia will be a guard unto these other nations, and it's fitting because they would need to have like a strong bond for the things that are about to take place, which is war against Babylon the Great, thermonuclear war with the ICBM missiles. So they're making close ties. They're coming together. They're sharing their resources. They're making tradings. They're moving away from the dollar. And they're building their own currency in the times to come. Isaiah 13:1, prophecies about Babylon. And as we can see, these war drills are fitting also because war is coming. So they know, just like the guy Canadian Prepper said, they're taking it very seriously, as they should. 13:1, Isaiah 13:1, it says the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift up a banner upon the high mountains, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles, right? And that's what the prophets are doing out here on the streets, starting from Elder Pastor on down of GMS, coming out with the Bible, speaking these prophecies to existence, hastening the day of the Lord, bringing down strongholds, and prophesying to, great kings. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness, right? The sanctified ones are the Israelites, and the mighty ones are the angels. I have commanded my sanctified ones. What are we commanded to do? To preach this word to the elect and to the nations, to the world, to get the elect up out of the world and let the nations know their judgment that's coming. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right. So all this is the Lord's doing. The scriptures say that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth whichsoever where he pleaseth. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So we can see that this is the Lord's doing, and the scriptures say the Lord um, makes the smith. Let's see if I can find that. Something like that. Lord makes the smith. Should have put KJV. Isaiah 54:16. All right, so I've been playing with this Blue Letter Bible, and it hasn't been acting right for me. So I'm clicking it and nothing is happening. I'm gonna click it twice, nothing happened, right? So I've been having that problem. I don't know if anyone else out there might have, been having the same problem. But I mean, I'm pretty sure eventually they will want to get rid of that blue letter Bible because it's messing them up. You know, the prophets are using it. What was 54:16? The point. Behold, I have created this. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Right. So these nuclear weapons, and I was actually watching like a little documentary, a documentary last night. All right. So I was just watching a documentary last night about this, and matter of fact, let me go in here and look at it. Um, I think it was this one, or it could have been this one. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. Right. So it went into all the men, that had the part of basically making this great bomb, the nuclear weapons that just, destroys the world and all of that. So yeah, that was the title if you guys want to check it out right there. It goes into the men that had a part in making it, but we can see Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So this was all part of Yahweh Bashmi Awashai's plan. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Right? It doesn't the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing, the prophets judge, but they're a judge of no man, right? So that was pretty much it. Just a blowing of the trumpet. They out here doing these war games in Los Angeles, and also they're trying to sanction these countries that are falling away from the dollar. But ultimately, these countries that are falling away are gonna use Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's weapon to destroy Babylon the Great. And that wasn't done here. I mean, I read some of it. It says, "Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one another, at their faces shall be as flames," right? So Babylon the Great obviously is, in a chokehold. They're upset, they're terrified, they're trying to sanction countries from moving away from the precious dollar, right? This place is going down, it's circling the drain, they're kicking the can. These people just, we're hastening the day of the Lord, right? With that, I want to say shalom to all the brothers and a few sisters that out here, in the faith, enduring into the end. Shalom.